Going on, guys? How's everyone doing? What's up, Genuine? How's it going? How is everyone doing? Okay. Give it a minute for everyone to get in here. Weekend was good. How was everyone else's weekend? Going on, Jacob? Jason, how you doing? Snake? All right. What's up, Nicholas? So, SPY flat open today. Move this over a bit. All right, so SPY flat open, Q's flat, IWM flat. Pretty much everything's flat. Right, we're seeing higher and higher lows. Last week, very, very choppy. Thursday and Friday, just pretty much straight sideways. Right, we see a gap down, move up, gap down, move up. And we saw the move down and then the chop, right? But we did kind of break the upside here and then pulled back, right? So on a higher time frame, right, we're in an overall uptrend. The market's been very strong, right? So they typically say when the market's strong, you don't want to, go against it, right? Because it will just keep going up. Because you don't want to walk in front of a moving train, right? So we saw some, pretty heavy consolidation. Curious to see if we can break over this level today. 412.68 is the resistance I'm looking for, which is this previous resistance here. If that breaks, we should see a push up to around 413, this level right here. Right, around 413.6, which is this previous support and this previous resistance. Right, so if we can break this high from Friday, we should see that push up. But then if we move to the downside today, I'm watching 411, right? We have a previous double bottom, right? Previous support, and then we bounced off of it a few times. If we break that, we're going to test these lows here of 410.2. Morning, Tracy. What's up, Patel? Okay, any questions about this? Let's go into a smaller time frame and see what's going on here. Yeah, so we kind of had that break end of the day. Right, we had this downtrend, resistance, kind of flagged here. Right, broke to the upside, pulled back, retested, and then we saw that little breakout. Very choppy chart though, right? This is not clean whatsoever. Last week was a tough week to trade for sure. Q's been sideways since March 31st, right? So almost a month now that we've just gone sideways. Right, so hopefully we can gain some momentum in tech this week. I know we have a ton of earnings coming up. Let me pull up the chart for earnings. I posted it in Market Insights. Right, here's the earnings chart. Right, so we had Coca-Cola. We had these already. Tomorrow we have a ton before market. Spotify, UPS, GM, GE, Verizon, McDonald's. Pepsi. Then we got Microsoft and Visa aftermarket. We got a ton of names. Meta and eBay. Wednesday. Boeing. Wednesday. Thursday, we have a ton. Amazon, Activision, Snap, Pinterest. Ton of names. Right, so make sure you're aware of all that. But I want to see a break of this consolidation. Whether it's to the upside or downside, I'm just waiting for a move. Right, IWM also just been consolidating. Super, super choppy. Let's go to some individual setups here. All right, so we have this resistance here on Meta. Rejected once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. We had a triple bottom here in place. We gapped down, moved back up, and we're testing it again. Right, this level right here is super important. Right, previous support, support, acted as resistance, and now we're kind of hovering here again. Right, so if it can break over 213.41, then we should probably see a move back up to around 216 or so. Okay. Going on, Jonathan? If everyone can drop a like on the video, I'd appreciate it. Let's try and find a setup. So I actually would like puts here. But we need to keep an eye on SPY and the Qs for that. All right, if we see weakness in SPY and Qs, then I would consider taking puts here. But market's been strong, right? So you really don't want to have to go against it. What's VIX doing here? All right, so VIX opened up this morning above this huge level, 17.6, where we rejected last week a bunch of times. And now it's moving all the way to the downside. All right, so we're back within this range. So if it breaks back above the 17.6 level, all right, I do like SPY to the downside. But then again, right, SPY kind of looks pretty bullish if we can break over 412.68. So I'm conflicted. Right, I guess I'll just play the levels, as I always say. Apple looks bearish too, right? This is just a typical bearish setup, right? We have lower highs, we have a move to the downside, we have consolidation, right? Typical bear flag here. We're at support, right? We're sitting at the lows here. If we break below 164.49, which is this support, most likely and most of the time we drop, right? This doesn't typically break to the upside, right? If I inverse this chart and we have this pattern here, right, most people are taking this and playing the breakout, right, which is, this is the inverse, so it's to the downside. Okay, Apple looks bearish. Keep an eye on it. I have my alert set. I have my alert set above. AMD just been in this wedge, extending, getting bigger and bigger. Right, we were approaching this level here around 88. We created a triple bottom. Right, we have this previous resistance. We also have this level here. Right, resistance, and then we're sitting right above. Right, so we're at a big level here. If this breaks, then we have major downside. Morning, had to cut both my neighbors' yards. That's a good man right there, Carl. That's going to give you some good karma. Amazon's up 0.8%. Strongest name here in pre-market. Let's see. We have a gap to fill. All right, over 108.78. we do have a gap to fill. So I'm going to set an alert at the high on Friday, which is 108.15, and then we have 108.78. So if market moves up, Amazon's the strongest name. Calls on Amazon would work if market is strong. What's up, Nick? Carl, hopefully the yards weren't too big. How big were the yards? AMD's down on lower volume. Yeah, I mean, it's been slowly decreasing over time, but just like, I don't like these charts. They just like don't fit my criteria, right? I like these setups here. Right, the flag. When would I enter on Amazon? You could play a break, right? You can enter here. It's just like we're overextended, and I feel like the risk reward isn't worth it. Right? This is like, it doesn't fit my strategy to go long here, right? If anything, I would like to play the reversal, right? Because the risk to reward is way better on the downside, right? We look for a rejection here, right? Or here, 108.78, the resistance above, and then you have huge downside below, right? Because we've seen a nice run to the downside. That would be, you know, a typical play that I would do, right? It doesn't work every time because one, we're going against the trend. But, right, we could take calls with a stop loss below and aim for a break of this 108.78. It depends what SPY and QQQ are doing today, right? We've just been straight consolidating, so it might be tough. Need to see how these react. Need to see how VIX reacts today. And they will follow. About 30 minutes. Oh, okay, not bad. Not bad. Do I see the support on Apple? 163.78. Yeah. I mean, there's this support here for sure. But if we saw a downside, we'd probably rip right through that. Right to the next major level here. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to get myself to go long here. I'd rather sit on the sidelines. But then again, need to see how the market's reacting. If the market's ripping, right, and SPY, QQQ are starting to break out, then sure, we could take it. Right, we're getting close though. What's going on? Hi. What's up, Daniel? How you doing? Let's see what else we got. Just the setups lately haven't really been there. BABA, no thanks. Coin, no thanks. CVS, no thanks. Google, redo it. It's just like terrible charts lately. I mean, maybe this is playable here. Right, we kind of have this flag. Right, we kind of have these higher and higher lows, lower highs, consolidation. Right, we could definitely play this. We have this support here. Right, previous support, support, support. Bounce a few more times. Right, it would need to break over that to see the continuation, and we have a gap held above. Right, everyone needs to remember that there's not always going to be a setup to play. You don't need to trade every day. Right, just because the market's open doesn't mean you need to trade every day. Right, there's other things you could be doing. Right, don't force a trade. When you force a trade, good luck. Right, it's best to sit on the sidelines if there's no good setup. Okay. right? Because no trade is better than a losing trade. Losing trade ruins the mood if you're, if you get those highs and lows, which I know most people do. Personally, I don't care. Right? I've seen it a million times. I've lost a million times. I've won a million times. But if you're that type of person that, feels that excitement or feels that discouragement based on a win or a loss, right? You have to know yourself. Right? Feelings are normal. Everyone has feelings. It's very hard to get rid of them when trading. Or you don't really need to get rid of them every single time. You just need to acknowledge them. Right? You need to be aware of how you're feeling. Right? Google actually looks pretty decent. I'll keep an eye on it though. Right? I like how it's consolidating like this. Now, if I inverse this, let me see what I think. Have I thought about adding new tabs to the Discord to speak about more real estate? No. If anything, I'd start a different Discord, right? Because I don't want to combine them. I could do that. I could just make a Discord channel just for real estate if you guys are interested in that, just so we can discuss. Right? It wouldn't be anything. It would just be, a channel to discuss. I know there's a ton of Discords for everything. There's a ton for that. I mean, if you want me to make one, I could. Right? I don't know how much I could, offer support, but if it's just, showing deals, how to analyze deals, maybe that's something that would be pretty good, actually. I love real estate. Real estate's amazing. Yeah, everyone's got to know yourself, right? Like I said before, it's okay to have emotions, right? Obviously, we're all human and we all have emotions, but just make sure you're aware of how you're feeling, right? If you're feeling, like revenge trading is the worst, that's terrible. Oh yeah, Google has earnings tomorrow, so we got to be careful. Even now when prices are high. So the thing is, right, it's better to be in the market than to not be in the market, real estate market, right? You want time in the market. You're never going to time it perfectly. So you find a deal and you execute. If the deal cash flows, you're fine, right? You don't want to you don't want to buy a property that doesn't cash flow. If it cash flows, then there's no issue, right? Then you'll be able to, you'll be good. That's it. No matter how high the interest rate is, right? Interest rates don't really matter if the deal is small, right? If you're buying $1 million house, yeah, interest, or a investment property, interest matters, right? But if you have a loan of 50,000, 75,000, a 4 to 7% interest rate is going to increase your payments, $40 to $50. Not killer, right? Everything, has its pros and cons. Do I think we're in a housing bubble? I'm not sure. Interest rates are very high though, so it does make it hard to buy commercial. All right, let's continue here. If anyone has any more questions about real estate, feel free to drop a comment. Feel free to drop a comment. All right, even if the real estate market crashes, rents are still gonna stay the same or decline a little bit. So as long as you're cash flowing, you're fine. And as long as your tenants are paying, right? You got to make sure you vet your tenants. Thoughts on getting a rental out of state? Oh yeah, it's great. So what you should get, Eric, is the book Long Distance Real Estate Investing from Bigger Pockets. Right, it's called Long Distance Real Estate Investing. Right, so I think, right, I'm from New York, right? So prices here are ridiculous. They have not come down whatsoever. There's no way for a beginner investor to be able to buy anything here in New York, right, or California, you know, any of those areas, right? So you have to buy out of state, and it's possible. You have to do. It all comes down to the numbers, always, right? And you could research the numbers now, right? It's not 1980. Everything's available. You could see the crime, you could see population, you could see rental rates, sale rates, comps. Everything's online, right? You could speak to property managers, contractors, lawyers, other people in different groups that are investing there, right? And you can figure out, based on the numbers, is it a good decision or not, right? You don't need to be able to see the property anymore, right? You can have your property manager or your agent, your real estate agent, send you videos of the property, right? If you have a good agent, they'll send you good videos, right? You need to find a good agent and contractor if you end up planning to rehab. But out of state investing is definitely good. You do tax sale investing, nice. Microsoft's weak here, 0.8%, sitting at support. Right, previous resistance, and we bounced off this level multiple times, so I'm curious to see what happens here. You're going on a cruise, Carnival, Wednesday. You should skyrocket. Let's see. All right, so Carl, I'm waiting on you to move this stock up then. Yeah, look at the, right, if you're doing out-of-state investing, obviously you want a landlord-friendly state. If anyone's looking for a real estate agent in New Jersey, message. All right, so there you go. Alex is a real estate agent in Jersey. So if anyone's interested in buying anything in Jersey, hit him up. Love this. Maybe I should start something like that so I can help you guys out. Like, right, because everyone's always looking for another way to make money. And real estate builds wealth. Right, it's a long-term passive income. Right, there's always more ways to make money. The video down 0.4%. Just look at the chart, it's so choppy. We played this last week, worked great. Right, this is what we played. Oops. Right, then we got our price target. And we're back here. Don't like it anymore. Square, just been black. Right, it's just moving sideways. Tesla, right? Tesla daily looks decent. Today might be a boring day, right? I mean, it might just be a walk away from the computer kind of day. We have this previous support. All right, we rejected it a long time ago in 2020. Definitely won't add it to bull trades because it's irrelevant to bull trades, but we can open up another server pretty easy. But yeah, look at this chart on Tesla, right? We're at a pretty hefty level here, right? Previous support, and we're kind of bouncing off this again, right? 162.78 or so. This whole region between 160 and 165. It's a big level. So, need to see what happens. But regarding game plan and open here, I mean, it's just to wait. I don't like any setup. Even in the smaller time frames. It's so choppy. So that's the game plan. Is probably just to sit sidelines. I mean, Google looks fine, but I don't know. I'd rather just wait for something else. Probably maybe Apple. I'll obviously post charts in Market Talk as the market's open. And maybe I'll change my mind, based on the price action at open. But yeah, as of now, just like it's just too choppy. I want to wait for, a clearer picture. Okay. All right, also 2 minutes to market open. With that being said, let's transition over to the Discord. Thank you everyone for stopping by. And I hope everyone has an amazing Monday. I'll see you guys in voice chat.